Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Super Jesus Jackson. It is I, your favorite man-child. Today, I come to you... Actually, no, I don't come to you. I am here. Come on, get your mind out of the gutter. But I'm here today to discuss a very, very important topic. A topic that, depending on where you lie in cinematic opinion, I guess, in film opinion, in even comic book storytelling, narrative opinion. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm here to tell you that Morbius is a cinematic masterpiece. Okay, maybe let's not go that far yet, okay? And now maybe a lot of you are cringing, okay, just because I just literally said yet. I insinuated that Morbius might be a masterpiece. That's a crime, isn't it? But see, I don't know. When we go to Rotten Tomatoes and we see the audience score versus the critic score, does that mean anything? You know, some people say the audience score doesn't mean shit. Some of it is probably exaggerated because the audience is like, screw the critics, so we're going to rate the hell out of this movie. Look, I don't know. All I'm saying is that Venom 1 and 2 were like this. Morbius is now like this. You know, it seems like these Sony-led Marvel movies just can't seem to catch a break. With the critics, that is. But audience-wise, they seem to be quite loved. Or at least, you know, decently appreciated. Well, I'm here to go against the grain, okay? Go against even a lot of people who are on the audience side, completely shitting on this movie. I can't stand to see that happen. I really can't. Now, I might be late, which I apologize. You know, I'm a busy boy. I'm a busy bee. But I did watch it on April 1st, so it's been a while. It's been a while. But I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed my time with Morbius. But let's get right into it, shall we? So this is going to be sort of a review / spoiler-filled review / analysis. I don't know what the hell this is going to be. It's more really going to be just a conversation trying to sort of debunk some of the criticisms of this movie. But I'm not going to do it professionally. I'm just going to fucking tell you. And by debunk the things that people didn't like about this movie, what I mean by that is I'm going to talk about all the things that I loved, because all the things that I loved are the things that people kind of didn't like. But let me know in the comment section below if you liked Morbius. I really am curious. Before we get into any of that, let me just say this movie did go through a lot of shit, okay? It was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, and it's been in development for a bit. Or at least it's been in the can for a bit, and so they had a lot of time to, you know, kind of perfect it. And some people were a little aggravated that they didn't take the time to do so. But I don't know, it was pandemic time. I don't really think they were going to be like, yeah, let's fucking reshoot things. You know, they were like, fuck it. You know, the movie's done. It's done. And I think a lot of it had to do with the success of other movies in the Marvel cinematic universe in a way. But here we go. One of the things that I heard through the grapevine that people didn't like about this movie were the special effects. I don't know what the hell you were on, but I thought they were brilliant. In fact, no, I didn't think they were brilliant. They were brilliant. For an $85 million budgeted movie, the fact that this movie looked the way that it did, it was incredible, okay? Even the villain, okay? The way his face looked, and Jared Leto as well, just simple CGI of their faces, and yeah, just the effects of them being vampires. Incredible, absolutely incredible. The teleportation between all of them, the fight scenes, the slow-mo / Zack Snyder effect that this movie had was brilliant. And the cinematography was great. The direction of the fight scenes, I loved that sometimes. I heard a complaint too, was like, oh, the action's too fast. I didn't even know what was going on. These are vampires. Like, these are vampires. They move at, like, essentially at superhuman speeds. They fucking teleport, disappear right before your eyes. The reflexes are way higher than anyone else's. For you to be able to catch what's going on is just not logical. I thought it was kind of realistic. The movie had a horror edge to it, which I was sort of surprised by. Like, they didn't need to do that, you know what I mean? Like, this is just a man-bat. It doesn't necessarily need to be scary, but... And man-bat isn't just literal man-bat. I wasn't really talking about the Batman villain, but it had some scariness in it, and it was a thing where, like, I wasn't like terrified, but it was eerie, it was creepy, and it still felt lightly like a scary movie at times. And that's fucking weird. Like, I didn't expect that at all, and then they did it well. And just the quick effects of Jared Leto being just Jared Leto and then turning into the vampire and then turning back, just fantastic. The way he figures out his powers are brilliant as well, the way they do it. His eyes, when they turn white, his transformation. He goes from skinny to fucking, fully decked out. Like, it's just amazing. The fight sequences, again, even though they're all pretty much computer generated, just brilliant. And when we get Morbius for the first time, when he turns into a vampire for the first time and he comes out, I got chills. Okay, I got chills. That scene was perfect. The music, the ambience, the direction, the visuals, just perfection.
What the hell is that thing?
So I don't know what the hell people were on, but they're just wrong. The music, I will say, it does leave a little bit to be desired, but I don't know. I would like to listen to it just on its own, but overall in the movie, it didn't really grab me as much. It only grabbed me in a few places, so, but I'm willing to give it a listen again, but, I think it's safe to say that it is average, if not maybe a little mediocre. The story. A lot of people shit on the story, said that it didn't make any sense, it was rushed. I'll give you this. It was rushed. You felt it. This movie is 1 hour and 45 minutes long. It clearly was just kind of massacred, probably, in the editing booth. It definitely was. I wish it was longer because I really hate movies that shrink themselves down because, I have a hard time relating to characters and I have a hard time believing in motivations of characters in the first place. So if you're going to edit a video down, it's going to be even worse, where I'm going to, relate to the characters less. And in this case, I was able to do a lot of lifting myself for the movie, which is not a very good thing, I understand, but I'm trying to understand where the movie's coming from and the fact that it is 1 hour and 45 minutes long, and it definitely should have been longer. And so with that being said, I kind of do some of the lifting myself in the movie, but they try their fucking very best, I will say. And, had they not tried their best, I wouldn't have been able to excuse the story in this movie. But, we understand the motivations of the characters. I think someone said, oh, God, how does he fucking go? How does the villain go from, when he's a little kid, just from being, nice or whatever to being a dick? People are just different, and I know that's not an excuse, right? But at the same time, that's also true. But clearly, the movie did tell us that Milo, the villain, he was a little bit more sensitive than Michael to teasing, to the world, to the circumstances that he had. And what I really liked, and this is probably more in the themes section of the movie, or I think I could probably slide it into the story here. I love how there was this contradiction between Milo and Michael. Like when they were kids, Michael was the one he was objective, okay? I will say that. He understood his disease, he understood what was going on, and he wanted to make it better for Milo and for him and for every other kid, right, dealing with this. Now, Milo, we clearly saw that he wasn't happy with who he was insecure, and he was bitter. And what's funny is when Michael turned into a vampire, Milo was like, oh my God, like, I want to be that. It was the complete opposite. And now Michael is like, oh God, no, you don't want to be this. Now he's like not even objective at this point. He's like fucking fully trying to have Milo not turn into this monster like him. And so I like the contradiction there. I like the dichotomy between the two. I also gotta say, I love the Hippocratic Oath, slash moral doctor-ish dilemma that Jared Leto's character goes through here. We don't really get a lot of it, which I wish we could have. There's a line in the trailer, in the first teaser trailer, that I loved.
How far are we allowed to go to fix something that's broken? Until the remedy is worse than the disease.
That quote isn't in the movie, which is fucking brilliant, but, hey, I got fucking cut. That's what happened. But, we still get that dilemma in there. We clearly do. And what's interesting, too, is that we get this little sort of crime aspect to the movie. And, vampires, they also have this ability, shape-shifting, right? They sort of can, not necessarily clone themselves into other people, but, almost into other vampires, perhaps, right? That's kind of in the shape-shifting category. And I liked how the movie played with just mystery in a way, and that it played along with the horror aspect to it, where oh, was it Milo who killed the doctor? Or was it Michael? You know what I mean? And we were we didn't really know. We thought it was Michael, but then it was, and the movie played with us, and even the actors, the way they played the characters, they were confusing themselves and they were deceiving themselves. That's fucking cool. I don't know how else to put that. Also, one thing, too, that I heard a complaint about is the bats at the very end, how it's anticlimactic. Okay, first of all, how else would you have done it? Just have him beat Milo to death? Come on, we saw Morbius kicking the shit out of other people before, and we saw Milo fucking savagely kill someone. We needed something new. We needed the bats, okay? And it made sense why Michael was able to connect with them. He literally said it in the fucking movie, why he has this ability at the very end. He fucking just says, oh my God, if I were anyone else, they would have eaten me alive, these bats, but they accept me. So hinting at the fact that he is able to connect with them, whether it's through... Clearly, it makes sense through DNA, perhaps. I don't know, because he literally went to fucking Costa Rica. He fucking confronted them. So maybe something happened there with DNA and they were able to bond. I don't know. Or I'd like to think that's the case and not just some fucking, moral, just disbelief bullshit, in storytelling. But, it makes sense. And whereas Milo is just a fucking monster. And so he doesn't have that power. He doesn't know how to control his powers in a respectful way. Whereas Michael does. And so that's why he's able to overpower Milo at the very end. And I thought that was super badass, dude. How he just uses a bunch of bats to fucking flood Milo in the same way that he was overwhelmed at the beginning of the movie. If you remember, all the bats came to him and they surrounded him. So that's pretty fucking dope. You didn't think of that, did you? I also like I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, but the red pill, blue pill sort of metaphor to it, with the blue blood, which is artificial, and the red blood, which is raw and real, and later in the fight as well, when Milo and Michael start fighting, they land on this platform and there's two giant squares that they're on, and one of them is in this red lit square and the other one's in the blue lit square, which is a metaphor for the blood, the artificial blood and the real blood, and of course the red pill, blue pill whole thing here, where it's do you want to kind of take the more soft side, or do you want to fucking take it raw as it is and face the truth, face the real monster in you? It's definitely has something like that. And I'm sure it wasn't just, these people write movies for a living, they know what the fuck they're doing when they're writing a movie. And obviously Milo and Michael are fighting against that. Michael's special because he has a little bit of both. He knows how to use his anger to get what he wants, but for good reasons. And he doesn't go too far, whereas Milo just can't control it. And in a way, it's not really about red pill or blue pill. It's about being in the middle and deciding when to take the pill. Because there's a time and place for every colored pill. And so Milo is just fucking unhinged. One of the last things I will talk about is essentially the Marvel Cinematic Universe shoehorning in the movie. Vulture, look, man, I could fucking care less. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't want to see this. I just want to see Morbius 2. I don't need to see him fight Spider-Man. It'd be cool to see him fight Spider-Man. Cool. But I really just care about Morbius. And as we learn in the movie, his love interest becomes Morbiusa. She becomes a female vampire. I think that's fucking cool. And I want to see that. I don't really want to see him with Vulture. And it doesn't make any sense how at the very end he fucking decides to be with Vulture and decides to team up with them because it's fucking Spider-Man. How the fuck? Look, I'm so fucking confused. And I will say the trailers did fuck with us. Okay, it's kind of a borderline fucked up what they did. You know, like some shit. You know how they're putting the fucking Spider-Man in the graffiti wall. We didn't see that in the movie. And certain interactions between Adrian Toomes and Michael just weren't there. They were there, just not in the same way. And we did get something that we didn't see at all, you know, which is the very end post-credit scene, which was the worst fucking thing I think I've ever seen in my life. It just didn't make any fucking sense. And I don't want to see it. I don't think it's going to happen, too. Which is unfortunate in the sense that we're not going to get fucking Morbius 2. That's the sad part. Because this movie, I don't think made a lot. It made its money back, thank God, but I don't think it's making any more. Which is fucking sad. Because this movie's fantastic. And, you know, thankfully Venom got it, but I think that was just because of the character, honestly. And, you know, some people say the movie was better, but I don't think so. Like, I think these movies are pretty much on par almost, but it's just sad we're not going to get Morbius 2 here. And, you know, I'd much rather get Morbius 2 than fucking see Morbius tied in with Spider-Man. There's no fucking reason. Like, Morbius is a good guy. Like Michael is a good guy. I don't fucking understand how they're going to do it. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess maybe they can do it. They did it in the comics. I'm sure they can do it in storytelling somehow. Spider-Man just fucking stands in the way of Michael, and Michael has to make a choice, you know? I mean, that makes sense, but like, I just don't want to fucking see that, you know? I really don't. And also the rating in the movie, yeah, I wish it was rated R, but I will say a little bit like the Batman, which I think the Batman would have been a better movie had it been rated R. I understand that movies don't need to be rated R to be good or better, but you know, I do think that seeing violence in the way that you do in rated R just is much better for storytelling. It's much more free. There's no chains to it. And so the expression is much more effective, I think, with art when it's just unleashed like that. And I do think that with Morbius, it would have been better if we saw fucking everything, you know, pretty clear, you know, and we saw it more savagely. But on the other side of the coin, I think there is an argument of like, look, number one, obviously for business reasons, we want to make this as approachable as possible. We want every fucking kid to see it. We want every parent to take their kid to see this movie. But also, in a way, it almost makes the kill scenes and they did fucking do like some borderline rated R shit in this movie. And it wasn't like the sneaky shit. Like they almost went all out with it, which is pretty ballsy. But for the moments that they did try to be kind of artsy with it or subdued with it or kind of hide what was going on a little bit, it was kind of scarier in a way. It's very similar to what happened in the Batman, like I said, where that movie's PG-13, but some kill scenes in there are a little bit more disturbing because we can't see everything. All we do is hear and just kind of see everything blurry and see what's going on. And so it just leaves it to our imagination. And again, it's just much more disturbing because we know what's going on and we're not seeing it. And it's just weird fucking thing where we were not getting what we are clearly witnessing. And it forces us to really hone in on what's going on. Because when the movie just spoon feeds you whatever's happening, rated R, you know, all over, it's a little bit easier, you know, like you don't need to fucking engage that much. But when the movie doesn't do that, you're forced to engage with the movie, the content of the movie a little bit more. So I understand it from that point of view. But I do think that there's definitely a time and place for rated R. And I think it can elevate a movie. And there was some goofy shit in the movie too, some occasional comedy in there that is actually quite tasteful. I didn't find it very obtrusive. I found it fine. The only one I didn't really like was the cop, the Hispanic cop. He just kind of annoyed the shit out of me. Honestly, his jokes were just a little bit too on the nose, but Morbius's jokes were interesting, funny, creative because he's a scientist, so it's funny. You know what I mean? Like, because he's trying to be funny. Like, and it's just like he's a scientist, for God's sakes, you know. So, and I'm sure there's some jokes in there that I don't fucking understand because, you know, I'm not smart. But anyways, there we have it, guys. That was my review, my commentary, my debunction, my masterpiecery of Morbius, the living vampire, starring Jared Leto and some other guy. I wish I knew his name, but he was a great actor as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought of my comments and my thoughts down below. Do you agree? Did you like the movie? Have you seen it 2 times? Have you seen it at all? Are you gonna see it? Maybe it's too late to see it. I don't fucking know. Just tell me your thoughts. I would really love to engage with you. Am I wrong? Please tell me if I'm wrong. Please like this video if you enjoyed this video, dislike it if you didn't, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this content, and share with your Morbius or not Morbius loving friends. That's it for me. You guys take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you. God love it. Oh, God.